Hello and welcome to this week's lesson on articles. In this video, we'll be looking at some general guidelines for article usage. Let's begin. Here's a guideline for definite nouns. Use the when you know or assume that your listener is familiar with and thinking about the same specific thing or person you are talking about. So do you and your listener both know which noun you're referring to? Here are some examples. Number 1, the sun is bright today. There is only one sun, so the speaker and listener both know which sun they're talking about. Number 2, please hand this book to the teacher. In the context of a classroom, there's only one teacher, so it would be clear which teacher the speaker is referring to. 3, please open the door. In the context of a room or a house, there's usually one door or one main door which would be opened. So this would be clear based on the context. Omar is in the kitchen. So again, in the context of a home, there's only one kitchen. So both the speaker and the listener know which kitchen is being referred to. Guidelines for first and second mention of nouns. Use the for the second mention of an indefinite noun. The first mention of a noun is often indefinite, that is, unless it is clear from the context which specific noun the speaker is referring to. Here are some examples. One day, a duck and a fox went for a walk. The duck talked about her family, and the fox listened. So, as you can see in this example, the first time these nouns are mentioned, they are indefinite because the first time we don't know which duck and which fox we're talking about. It's one duck and one fox. But the second time, now we know which duck it is. It's the same duck, and we know which fox it is. It's the same fox that was introduced earlier. Number 2, yesterday I saw some dogs. The dogs were chasing a cat. The cat was chasing a mouse. The mouse ran into a hole. The hole was very small. So in this example as well, you can see that the first time a noun is mentioned, it is indefinite. And the second time it is definite. So I saw some dogs. The first time the listener doesn't know which dogs the speaker is talking about. But the second time, now the listener knows it's the same dogs. Now it is definite, and they both know which dogs are being referred to. And the same thing goes for the other nouns. The first time a cat is indefinite. The second time it is definite because we know that it's the same cat. Guidelines for generalizations or generic nouns. A generic noun represents a whole class of things. It is a symbol of a whole group. A generic noun is used to make generalizations. Do not use the with a plural count noun. For example, polar bears, or a non-count noun, for example, cheese, when making a generalization. Here are some examples. Polar bears are white. So polar bears is a plural count noun, so there is no article in front of it. This is a generic noun. This statement is a generalization. It's talking about all or any polar bears. Number 2, cheese goes well with crackers. So cheese is a non-count noun and it has no article in front of it. So this is generic. This statement is a generalization. It's talking about any cheese and all cheese. Guidelines for singular count nouns. A singular count noun, for example, car, is always preceded by an article, that is a or an or the. It is never preceded by no article. It can be preceded by this or that, or it could be preceded by a possessive adjective. For example, his, my, or your. Here's some examples. The dog drove a car. The dog drove the car. The dog drove that car, and the dog drove my car. So these are all possible options for words that can go before a singular count noun. Notice that there must be something in this position. It cannot have no article or no word before it. These are incorrect. The dog drove car. That is incorrect to have no article. The dog drove that car. So an article with a word like this or that does not go together. Or the dog drove his car. So again, an article with a possessive does not go together. Those sentences are incorrect.